Hello, ladies. Hello, gents. Thank you for being here today. My name is Mira Skinner, and you know that I do not take your presence here for granted. On today's video, we are going to be answering the question: do men really regret losing a good woman? And before we dive right in, please do not forget to give this a thumbs up if you enjoyed watching this content, and do not forget to share with your friends and family. Let's settle this once and for all and satisfy your curiosity. Do men really regret losing a good woman? And the answer is drum they do. Some people will say they do not, but you and I both know they do. Yes, they may not show it as women will normally do, or they may never tell you. They may tell someone else, but they will never tell you. But yes, they do regret losing a good woman. So, yay! The only accurate way to know if a man regrets losing you is how he behaves towards you after the breakup, is what he tells you after the breakup, is what you hear from other people. But sometimes you have to be very careful because hearing things from other people, it's not always the truth. Someone may be saying it just because they want to create a conversation, and someone may be telling you just to see where you are at so they can go right back to this guy and tell them how you feel. Others may be asking just because they want to replace that person that you broken up with. So you have to be very careful how you react in situations like this. But at the end of the day, I totally understand that it feels so good, like really, really good, to know that your ex is regretting the fact that he let you go. But let's face it, what does that do for you? Absolutely nothing. You can wait your entire life just to hear that one word, I'm sorry. You can wait your entire life just to hear him tell you that he misses you. You can wait forever just to know that this man actually valued you as a person, and you may never get it. Even when you do get it, trust me, it doesn't really matter. Because what is the point of having someone as an ex and keep looking back? There is no reason for you to look back. You gotta keep your head focused. You gotta keep your head on track. Because if you keep thinking about this person, if you keep thinking about your ex, there is no way that you're gonna heal. You will not be able to move on from what happened. You will not be able to move past him because you're always anticipating his return. You're anticipating the fact that he's gonna acknowledge you someday, but that is not something that you need to keep yourself busy with. You need to keep yourself busy with yourself, with your goals, with healing, with knowing who you are. That is the most important thing. Yes, he finally got it. He finally understood your value. He finally understood the fact that you were a rare gem in his life. Ask yourself this question: what next? It's not important. Whether he regrets it or not shouldn't be your concern. I'll tell you guys a story. So in the good old days, right, I was in a relationship with this guy. And from the get-go, I knew that this boy was bad news. I knew in my heart of hearts that he was bad news, but I was like, oof, I got what it takes. I got what it takes to make him be what I want him to be. I got what it takes to make him become what I want him to be. And that was wrong on all levels. Because if you have watched my previous video, you will understand that it is horrible. It is a bad idea for you to get into a relationship with somebody thinking that you can change them. You have to first of all accept that person for who they are before you can start trying to make tweaks here and there. But then at the end of the day, if this man succumbs to you, if this man changes and becomes what you want him to be, it is a bonus. You have to take him at face value. That is how men take women. They take them at face value. So you have to take a man at face value. I knew that I got what it took, but I did not have what it took to make him be what I wanted him to be, because at the get-go, he was wrong for me. At the get-go, I went into that relationship with ulterior motives. He was bad for me, but I did not care. You understand? Because I had already this intention in my head. I already had this notion that, oh, I could make this work. And whenever he did something wrong, he was able to talk his way out of it because he was a smooth talker. This man could talk above anything that he has done. And you start looking at yourself like, did he really do this? Was I just overthinking it? Did I even see what I saw? He makes you feel like you are the person who is at fault, and that is because I let him. He was always saying one thing and doing another. But because I already had his intentions, but because I already knew that, oh, you can do this, I was like, oof. Even when I was being told about his acts, even when I was being told that he's done this, he's done that, it did not matter, because when he starts talking, you feel like, did he really do that? Was I just overthinking it? You start asking yourself all these questions when you know for a fact that that's the truth. Our relationship was very short-lived, right? But it created an impact. However, when that relationship ended, I wailed like every other girl out there, and I longed for the day that he uttered those words, "I regret doing this to you." And one time during my healing period, I was asking myself, why do I even want him to say he's sorry? Why do I even want him to accept the fact that I was a good thing? Why do I even crave that? Because I understood that holding on to that longing, holding on to that belief that one day he was going to say that he was sorry, that one day he was going to say he regretted it and come back on bended knees, holding on to that was just making me miserable. And that is not something that you want to do. You want to move on with your life. And I am so glad that I got to that point where I could say, I have forgiven you. I got to that point where I could say, I have forgiven me for accepting that in my life. I got to that point where I knew for a fact that I was healed. I got to that point where I could talk about it with anybody and do not fear any circumstances. That is because I took that time out to heal, to work on myself, to become better. Before he met me, I was already hardworking. In fact, I did not have the luxury to be a lazy person. I did not come from that home where you could just sit down and everything is given unto you. Nope, I had to work for everything that I had to get. When I was able to gather my thoughts, gather the pieces, and accept that the relationship had ended, I concentrated more on me. I understood that our relationship began on the wrong foundation to begin with. It was built on a shaky ground and it was bound to crash. I accepted my part of getting into a relationship when I know for a fact that it was not good for me. I forgave and I moved on. And that was the time that I began to blossom. That was the time I began who I am today. That was the time that I said, okay, I will do me and I will trust my instincts more. Because the problem is not only trusting your instinct, this problem is acting on your instincts. Because everyone says that you should believe in your God, right? You have a God that you were blessed with, believe in it. But if you believe in your God and you do not act upon it, then there becomes a time where you cannot even trust yourself. Your God is something that is always going to be there. But for you to be able to really believe in it, you have to work on it. Because you have to make your spirit to be so sharp, like your instinct to be so sharp in such a way that when something is about to happen, when you're about to get into a situation, you can already sense that this thing is good or bad for you. And then you act upon it. You need to work on your instinct, because if your instinct is telling you yes, and what you're doing is opposite of what your instinct is telling you, then there will be a time when you will not be able to trust yourself because you have not trusted yourself in the past. Let me tell you something. When that relationship ended, I searched for closure. And that is when I realized that closure is a myth. The reality was that I gave my best to the wrong person. And that was the bitter truth. During my healing process, I learned from the good, from the bad, from the evil, because I cannot say that there were no good times. Yes, there were. But I learned from all those times, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Because when you learn from experiences, you become a better person. The next time you will not make that same mistake because you took that time. I always emphasize heal. Heal. It is for your own good. It is very necessary for you to step back out of yourself and understand what you got yourself into in the first place. and how you can move past that situation and beyond. Interesting enough, 1 year later, I was out with my friend doing my own thing, and here he was standing in front of me, just smiling. I was like, what's going on? I turned and looked at my friend, and she looked at me, and she just said hi to him. And there he was. Mind you, this guy was a very proud person. But then there he was, right in front of my friend. He said, he's been looking for me. And I'm like, why are you looking for me? This is a point where, if I was told before, I knew that if this day comes, I will gloat. But I could not even gloat. That is to tell you that there is no reason for you to be thinking about whether he regretted or not, because when that day comes, you will not even care about it like you cared about it before. It wouldn't matter. So he was right in front of me, and he said he's been looking for me. I was like, why are you looking for me? He said he wanted us to talk about us. I said, there is no us. He didn't even mind that I was with my friend and my brother. He did not mind. He was just going on and on and on. And my friend and my brother, they decided to walk away because it was an awkward situation. And he said he was sorry. He wanted us to talk. He was being misled. People told him this, that. And I was like, boy, you are a grown-up man. That ship has sailed. He was going on and on like, there is no one out there like you. I've been to east, west, north, and south, and I couldn't find anyone like you. You know the drill. But that was none of my business. It could have been my business a year ago. But at that point in time, I had worked on myself in such a way that I could not be licking my vomit. That was something that was done and dusted. There's something that you have to understand, people. That the fact that somebody regrets losing you, the fact that they come back begging, doesn't mean that you really necessarily need to go back to them. Because there was a reason that you guys broke up in the first place. Because don't spend your time waiting for this person when you could be opening up yourself to something that is better, to something more than you had ever imagined, because it is out there. So learning how to make a man regret losing you, that's not what you should concern yourself with. You shouldn't concern yourself with that at all. Shortly after that, I left the country, and here he was on Facebook Messenger telling me that he was going to come meet me where I am. He was ready to travel oceans to meet me. But when we were together, he couldn't even lift a finger. He was so busy doing one thing or the other. So do your best in life, and everything will fall in place. I say this to say that you should not look backwards. That will not help you. Learn who you are. What are your desires? Define the kind of person that you want to mature into, and work on achieving the person you want to be. Because at the end of the day, it's about how you feel inside. It's about what you become, who you become, and who you let into your life. That makes you. Do not concern yourself with him regretting losing you. If anything, accept the fact that you went into a relationship with the wrong person. Pick up those pieces, work on yourself, like I said, and know your worth. Because when you know truly who you are, when you know your worth, nobody out there can tell you otherwise. Always remember that you are a gem. Some people will walk right by you and they will not notice you. Others will notice you, but they wouldn't know what to do with you because they are not on the same frequency like you. But another person will know what to do with you and help you become the best version of yourself, because you deserve it and you're worth it. Sometimes someone will only regret losing that gem when they see another person who knows the value of it, putting it on a pedestal and making it shine so bright that it could blind their eyes. That's when they may realize that you were a gem, but it's too late. So do not put yourself in situations where you cannot appreciate yourself. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Please do not forget to hit that subscribe button. Also hit the notification bell. That way you know when we have new uploads. Thank you guys, and you know that I love you very much. Bye.